It is March the 25th, 2019. I'm James Brierton from Charlotte. This is severe weather coverage from the Carolina Weather Group. We're tracking a tornado warning in eastern North Carolina just outside Elizabeth City. Let's get the latest now from the National Weather Service Bulletin. This was issued just a few moments ago, and the National Weather Service in Wakefield has issued a tornado warning for east central Camden County and two other counties that I'm going to try my darndest to say, and I'm sure I'm going to mess these up, but hopefully if you live in these areas, I'm getting close enough that you know what it is that I'm trying to say, because this first one is Pasquotank, and the other one is Currituck. I may have messed those up, I acknowledge that, but we do have a tornado warning for those two counties along with Camden until 9 o'clock. At 8:20, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Morgan's Corner or near South Mills, moving east at 30 miles an hour. We do not have any sort of confirmed tornado on the ground, but matter of fact, what it is that we are looking at that prompted the National Weather Service to go ahead and issue this is circulation in the clouds. And if I switch the radar over to velocity, the area of interest is just north here of Elizabeth City. You can see where the reds and the greens come together. That is our particular area of interest, and that's why the National Weather Service has gone ahead and issued this. I can actually put this radar into motion, and over the course of the last few minutes, you can kind of see how that comes together. So we'll be monitoring this, and we'll be watching it on radar along with NOAA Weather Radio. Let's take a quick listen to that broadcast.
Floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Please report severe weather by calling 757-899-2415, posting to the National Weather Service Wakefield Facebook page, or using Twitter at NWS Wakefield, VA. At 8:04 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, radar indicated strong thunderstorms were located along a line extending from 6 miles west of Morgan's Corner to near Belvedere to Tyner. Movement was east at 35 miles per hour.
And again, now at 8:36, we are continuing to monitor a tornado warning that is in effect in northeastern North Carolina. This was issued at about 8:20 by the National Weather Service in Wakefield, and it goes until 9 o'clock. This goes for Camden, Currituck, and Pasquotank, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, counties in eastern North Carolina. And if you are in those areas right now, you should be heading to your safe place. We have it circled on your screen right now, the area of interest just north of Elizabeth City. This is moving to the east. Let's see if we can get a speed check on this from the National Weather Service. Matter of fact, they're telling us that this will be just north of Elizabeth City, then moving towards Camden and Whitehall Shores. That's where it is right now, moving in the next few minutes towards Indiantown and Shiloh at 8:45, and Grandy and Corolla by 9 o'clock. As of right now, this bulletin is scheduled to expire at 9 o'clock, but we will wait to see if the National Weather Service decides to extend this or not as we continue to monitor this tornado warning. Flying debris may be possible with any sort of brief tornado, and that's why if you're in this area right now, you should be seeking shelter. Be back momentarily. You're watching the Carolina Weather Group.
As 30 knots through 9 p.m. After the front passes to the south of the region, winds may diminish briefly before ramping up to 25 to 30 knots with gusts up to 40 knots after midnight when a gale warning goes into effect. The 8 p.m. area weather observations. At Norfolk, light rain. Temperature 51, dew point 50, relative humidity 96%. Wind northeast, 16 miles an hour, gusting to 24. Pressure 29.91 inches and rising. At Newport News, rain and fog. Temperature 50, dew point 47, relative humidity 89%. Wind northeast, 12 miles an hour, gusting to 22. Pressure 29.95 inches and rising. Across the rest of Hampton Roads and in
Okay, we're welcoming in our viewers now on Facebook Live. This is severe weather coverage from the Carolina Weather Group for March the 25th, 2019, 8:38 p.m. I'm James Brierton in Charlotte. We're watching a tornado warning for 3 counties in northeastern North Carolina, and I've apologized before for those folks who were on our YouTube channel and now on Facebook Live that I'm going to say at least one of these counties wrong. But the warning goes until 9 o'clock for Camden, Currituck, and Pasquotank counties until 9 o'clock. The National Weather Service out of Wakefield issued this tornado warning at about 8:20, and it goes until 9 o'clock. The area of interest right now is not as easy to see on radar, but the general area right here, again, would include areas just to the north of Elizabeth City, and anyone from here to the shore should be seeking a safe place. So if you're outside, you should be heading inside and put as many doors and windows between you and the outside world as possible. That's as many walls between you and the outside world as possible. If you've got a lower level, that would be ideal too. Again, we don't have a confirmed tornado on the ground or anything of that like, but this is a precaution here from the National Weather Service after they identified this thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. And so they have this warning that will carry over until about 9 o'clock or so. We're going to be using a functionality from the National Weather Service that is used by media and emergency managers called National Weather Service Chat to monitor this storm. And we don't have an update from the National Weather Service right now. Matter of fact, the last time we heard from them was when the warning went out at about 8:20 or so. We did have a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, also contains 3/4 size hail. So again, this is for Camden, Currituck, and Pasquotank counties until 9 o'clock because of a storm capable of producing a tornado. It is not all too visible right here on radar, but we're monitoring it, and you should be in your safe place if you're in Elizabeth City, Camden, Whitehall Shores, Indiantown, Shiloh, Grandy, and Corolla. Other areas who should be monitoring the situation closely include, but are not limited to, Belcross, Burnt Mills, Poplar Branch, Gregory, Javers, and Riddle. So again, we'll continue to monitor this. We're looking at National Weather Service chat. We're looking at radar here. We'll go ahead and switch this back over to reflectivity for a moment so you can see what this would look like in terms of rain. The previous screen was looking at winds, but we were watching kind of an area here where this kind of bows out a little bit and is moving now towards the shore for the potential of producing a brief tornado, and that's why the Weather Service there at about 8:20 or so issued that tornado warning. But again, not as clear on radar here in velocity as it was a few minutes ago, and so we will continue to monitor this. We're going to return audio here temporarily over to the National Weather Service NOAA weather radio that is monitoring weather in this neck of the woods as we continue to check the weather across the entire region. You're listening to severe weather coverage from the Carolina Weather Group.
Tree limbs could be blown down and a few power outages may result. A wind advisory means that sustained winds of 31 to 39 miles per hour or gusts in excess of 45 miles per hour are expected. Winds this strong can make driving difficult, especially for high-profile vehicles. Use extra caution. The National Weather Service in Wakefield has issued a wind advisory, which is in effect from 4 a.m. Tuesday to midnight Eastern Daylight Time Tuesday night. Winds, north to northeast 25 to 35 miles per hour with gusts up to 50 miles per hour. Timing, develops early Tuesday morning and will continue through late Tuesday evening. Impacts, gusty winds will blow around unsecured objects. Tree limbs could be blown down and a few...
While we await for any updates on this particular storm, what I want to do for you here is widen out and get you an idea. We're not expecting widespread severe weather today, but you can see as we zoom the radar out here, and this is the radar out of Richmond, that we do have several areas of heavy rain across not only northeast North Carolina, but we also have a line, and I'm going to switch radar sources here to reveal the rest of the rain for you now. That kind of stretches the I-77 corridor from Charlotte down to Columbia, and this is associated with the front that's moving across the region, and so temperatures tomorrow are going to be significantly cooler, and you can see here as this slow-moving wall of rain moves across the region, it will slowly be pushing out of the Queen City here in the next little bit. Again, widespread severe weather today is not expected, but we can't rule out an isolated severe storm or two like we're currently seeing over northeastern North Carolina. This is the Storm Prediction Center's graph for today, and you can see actually we weren't included in any of the tiers. That lightest tier is just general mill thunderstorms. The isolated severe weather threat or the concentrated severe weather threat is back across Alabama and Georgia. We did have a little bit near the South Carolina line, and you can see that really just being prompted here by a few of these cells, like you can see in Anderson and Homeland Park right now. But again, again, we're not expecting widespread severe weather. Matter of fact, the tornado threat from the Storm Prediction Center really, again, just a 2% threat back across portions of Alabama, Georgia, and down towards the Gulf Coast. So that's actually what makes this tornado warning that has popped up here in northeastern North Carolina a little surprising, not completely surprising. We were at a non-zero chance for severe weather, but we are, again, monitoring a tornado warning here just outside the Elizabeth City area in northeastern North Carolina. Again, it is not all too obvious to us exactly where the area of concern might be right now, but with the warning up for at least another 15 minutes or so, we would advise everyone to remain in their safe place until this particular moment in time, which was that I was going to say until the National Weather Service decides that the warning is no longer needed. And we just now, as I'm saying those words, are hearing from the National Weather Service in Wakefield that they've gone ahead and canceled the tornado warning, at least for Camden and that county whose name I'm going to say wrong, Pasquotank. And let's see here if we still have a warning up or not for the third county, which was Camden. But I'm not sure we do. I'm thinking that was previously dropped, and I do think that's the case. National Weather Service telling us that right now they have canceled this because the tornadic thunderstorm, which prompted the warning, has moved out of the warned area, and conditions are no longer needed for a tornado warning. So I'm just trying to make sure here that as I'm looking at all their bulletins, that they have gone ahead and I believe canceled this for all counties in that affected area right now, if I'm not mistaken. So again, we'll expect that to disappear here off the radar in the next few minutes. That would be the only warning right now in the Carolinas. The only other warnings we have to even tell you about are back across Alabama and Georgia, and those are severe thunderstorm warnings seen here in yellow because, again, that is where we are expecting the concentrated areas of severe weather today. They saw some earlier. Now that the sun is going down, we're losing some of that instability in the atmosphere. We would expect a lot of this to begin winding down. But again, a slight chance of severe weather across portions of Alabama and Georgia. No official outlook from the Storm Prediction Center actually in effect for the Carolinas, but as you saw a few moments ago, it's possible that as we're seeing some of this rain come on through the area, that we could see one or two stronger storms, and that is in fact what we saw just outside Elizabeth City over the course of the last 25 minutes or so. But again, repeating, the National Weather Service in Wakefield has gone ahead and canceled that tornado warning. We have no severe weather in the Carolinas at this time. We do have the rain that is moving across the region. We will continue to monitor that weather, and we'll be back on the air with more severe weather coverage as the news warrants tonight or any night right here on the Carolina Weather Group.
Across the rest of Hampton Roads and in eastern North Carolina, Langley, light rain and fog and 50. Wind northeast, 15 miles an hour. Virginia Beach, a thunderstorm and 52. Wind north, 16 miles an hour. Suffolk, heavy rain and 56. Elizabeth City, cloudy and 67. Eaton, cloudy and 66. Cape Hatteras, fair and 65. Regional observations, Wallops Island, light rain and 49. Wind northeast, 18 miles an hour. Washington, D.C., cloudy and 49. Richmond, rain and 52. Wakefield, rain and fog and 56. Manteo, mostly cloudy and 60. Wind south.